Hello, right, I'm going to use this NVIDIA app to try and do this. On screen at this moment, it's Borderlands 4. It's a game which I'm still on the fence about actually getting. I loved Borderlands 2, characters, all the DLCs, finished it a few times. Great writing, characters, like I say, everything. Borderlands 3, I pre-ordered all the DLC, the big one, and I still haven't finished it. Don't like it at all. Characters, story, nothing about it I liked. Just didn't like it. So I'm really on the fence as to 4. Have they actually got the writing fixed? Have they got the characters fixed? Looks wise, it's one of the kind of games which at the time when they were making these for the console generation, they had to make them with the whole cell shading kind of style because it just helped the performance. The consoles weren't particularly powerful, so if you wanted to do all this kind of quick FPS action and stuff, they kind of had to go that way. So there's not a great deal of difference between 3 and 4 if you just to glance at them, or just average person looks like 4 looks like a DLC of 3. So it's more so going to come down to have they actually nailed and fixed how the writing is and the character is and stuff like that. So I'm going to have to wait to real world reviews come out for that one, because there's a lot of influencers and obviously big YouTubers and stuff got it now, and obviously ranting and raving and saying how good it is and stuff like that. But I'm going to wait for real reviews to come through before I make a decision on that one. The other games which I was just playing recently, which is Metal Gear 3, which I wish I'd played originally on the PlayStation, because that game feels like a game from then, but just with new lick of paint. I would have probably liked it more back then, but I was jumping between consoles and I missed out on number 3. So don't get me wrong, if you've never played it, it's a great game, but it feels like an old game, the way that the maps are laid out and stuff like that, because it was just how it was designed for the machine back then, and the limitations that I had to play with. And it's just a shame they didn't stitch some of the smaller maps together, because it just feels a bit disjointed and a bit odd, and it feels like a product of its time. So it's good, but I would have been more forgiving at the time, understanding, where now it's just like they should have just been stitched together like Metal Gear 5. It doesn't make any sense. But again, if they'd probably done that, people, purists as such, would have probably have complained that they altered it. But good, but like I say, it feels like an old game, and it does have some jank and quirkiness to it. But it's Snake. He can be a bit more forgiving. The other one, which I've literally just stopped the other day, which is Cronos New Dawn. Looks fantastic, sounds fantastic. Story's very intriguing. They don't give you much. It's like little dribs and drabs as you go along. It is just basically Deep Space and Silent Hill mixed together, and set in Poland. One of the things which I don't like, but it can be easily fixed, and it's the reason why I got halfway and gave up, and I'll come back to it, is just the management, the inventory stuff. I've played all these kind of games before. The whole Resident Evil things, the original ones and stuff were like that. Every bullet matters and things, and that's fine. But I just have a problem with this one, where you'll go into a room, you'll kill certain things, and the things that you kill will drop loads and loads of ammo and all that kind of stuff, and you'll have plenty of stuff. And you'll come back through a certain another room and you'll kill everything in there, and nobody drops anything, and then you're left with not a bullet at all. But then if you die and you come back, that same group will end up dropping lots of different stuff, and it's just a bit hit and miss. There's times where I've got plenty of ammo, and there's times where I literally don't have a single bullet at all. And the other downside is the risk reward. Normally with most games you get, it's like the cave, that tower, that planet, whatever it is. But if you go there and do a certain thing, at the end of it, you're going to collect something or get something you can either use or sell, and it's worthwhile. Whereas some rooms in that game where you can see there's some stuff in there, you can run in, grab it, run, get the hell out of there, job done, and you made yourself some profit. You can go and sell that item for whatever. But there is some rooms that you go in and it'll seal you in there and you can't get out. Something's put in your way or something happens, and you end up using that much ammo or health to kill everything in that room, that the item you then pick up, it's not worthwhile. Sometimes you maybe, by the time you sell it, you're a little bit slightly better off, but sometimes you maybe break even, and sometimes you're actually worse off for going into that room, and it should never be like that. The thing at the end of it should always be worth more than what you're going to use to get that thing. Otherwise, it's pointless. You just skip that room. And there was a few occasions where I went into certain areas or rooms and I seen something and I went over and picked it up, and by the time I killed everything in there, even when I'm just doing 2 or 3 shots and like obviously watching what I use to kill enemies and stuff, by the time I'd replaced the stuff because I never dropped any ammo, I maybe had a bad run and they didn't drop anything, by the time I then sold the item, I was actually no better off. And so next time I loaded in, I just ran right past that area and just didn't bother. It's something which can be patched. All I have to do is just make sure that the actual drops by the creatures are more obviously concise, where it's happening the same kind of right pattern as such, or just that there's just more things lying around for you to collect. I don't mind inventory managing and stuff like that, but when it becomes a chore, when I'm like having to play a game and I only have so much time, but then I'm like, I can only get past a certain area if I go back and try and look for something I can sell, or try and smash something I can maybe find something. It just becomes more of a chore. And because it's a slow-based game where you're kind of plodding along, it can take time to do that. Like I said, I have no doubt there's people out there saying that they've got so many bullets that they were just literally falling over them. They didn't know what to do with them. And that's fine. It's just the way that the look of the draw sometimes, how things drop. It can be easily patched. It can be easily sorted. And hopefully they do, because I will go back to it and finish it. But I just don't like games that feel like a chore. And so what I am playing at this moment is an old game, which is Dishonored 2. If you've never played it, I highly recommend it, because it'll probably run really well on whatever you've got PC-wise. And you can probably pick it up for a couple of quid. It's probably absolutely insanely cheap now as well. But playing that game now, and I've slapped a reshade on it so it looks a little bit nicer as well, because obviously it's old. But just looking at the level design and the height and just where you can go, what tools they give you, and it's like open sandbox. Like, you need to get here, you need to do that. Just do how you see fit, and the powers that they give you. It just reminds me just how spoiled we were back years ago when they actually gave a damn about a lot of the games and put thought into it. I don't know whether it's a budget thing or time or a skill thing, but it's missing a lot in these games. I think the last game I played that even had anything remotely like it was Cyberpunk, but that is not even a 50th of what Dishonored. Can't remember much about 1. I'm sure 1 is very similar, but Dishonored 2, just the tools that they give you and the level design, the mapped areas, and the writing's really good, the characters are good. The story, I'd say, is above average, but it runs really well. Just the physics that's in it that you can do, the things you can smash and interact with, it's insane, the amount of stuff. And it just kind of makes me mourn for how we are today and what we have to deal with today, when that's what they used to be able to do. My only complaint about Dishonored 2 is it's too easy. The enemies are quite easy. When you get to a certain point, and I don't mean the slide thing, I avoid doing that at all costs. If you know the game, you know what I'm talking about. But the enemies are a bit easy. Once you get to a certain point, you are kind of like godlike. But so that's why I play it on everything on the hardest setting, which is quite unusual for a game for myself. But yeah, that's my only complaint about that game, is that it is a bit easy. But everything else, like I said, level design and everything else, it's great. And if you need a game which you can probably pick up for a couple of bucks as such, it's probably about 10 to 15 hours to finish it, I would say. I highly recommend, if you are going to get it, to do all of the side quests and everything, because you probably won't see another game like this for a long time. I certainly haven't, where they just gave you all the tools and just said, go play. If you can be creative about how you can get into somewhere or do something silly that we never thought, go do it. So the next one that's probably even remotely like that, which has got a lot of controversy about it, is that Bloodlines Masquerade thing, that vampire one. The next one that's due out, which has been in production and development hell for so long, and there's a lot of controversy over it. It looks really nice. I've seen some of the gameplay, and it looks right up my alley for that kind of game that I want. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. There's a lot of naysayers saying it's not going to turn out very well, but I'm fingers crossed it does, because it looks like the kind of game which I've been missing for a long time. I could really do with. But yeah, that's kind of the stuff that I've been messing about with. There's nothing to report on the technical side, the hardware side. GPU, the Vanguard, still going excellent, really good. like I say, the fans and everything else I put in it. There's no need for me to change anything at this moment in time. It's all good. In fact, I would say the next thing that's probably going to change will be, I would dare say, it's going to be the motherboard. In preparation for the next lot of CPUs, which will be due out in a year or two. That's probably the next thing that's going to change in there. Case-wise, it ticks all the boxes for me. Memory's not really changed because AMD's not really doing much on that side. AIO, now that's a one. I do tend to change them like every year and a half, so that could be the next thing on the cards. But yeah, apart from that, all's good. And yeah, the game's G7 Pro. Still say that's the best controller I've ever used. The only one which will come close to it will be the PlayStation 5, but that's more so because of the haptic feedback, which is obviously really, really smart and really good to use. But if you were taken out of the equation, then the G7 Pro is the best controller I've ever used. It's absolutely fantastic. It certainly does feel like it improves my gameplay compared to other controllers which I've used as well. But yeah, that's about it. I'm just needed somebody to listen to my rant and rave about the state of games. Like I say, if you've never played Dishonored 2, you've done yourself an injustice. Go and give it a go. Like I say, it's bound to be dirt cheap. And just go have fun in there and just mess about doing some stuff. It's really, really good. Anyway, see you later. Bye.